Hello everyone, and welcome to Divine Debut 11. This is Kathy speaking. I hope that you're all doing well. Today is the 15th of April and we've had a full moon in Libra a couple of days ago on the 13th. It is a Tuesday today, so it was Sunday when we had that full moon. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. It wasn't an easy full moon. And that was in the sign of Libra, which is the sign of relationships, relating to others. So the messenger is here to bring you your energetic messages, as that's what we read, the energies. And that's why we look at the stars, because as above, so below. Beautiful. So since that full moon, Venus is now direct. Mercury is direct, both those personal planets transiting through Pisces. So Pisces would be a very important area of your chart to look at. And Venus is going to connect with Saturn in the sign of Pisces for a third time, as they are direct. And remember, Venus is in a very strong position. She loves the sign of Pisces. She's exalted there. So what did we have to grow and mature towards? What was that, that vision, that dream that we had to work hard towards? Maybe we haven't seen the culmination of it yet. It could be very promising in the near future, as today the moon is transiting through Scorpio. So there's a lot of water. How's the weather where you are? We're overcast, cloudy, and rain. Again, we've had our fill of rain. Hopefully it will dry up. It will dry up soon. This is a very big week as we're heading towards Easter. Those of you who celebrate Easter. I'm Greek Orthodox, so we are having our Easter. This year we are having Easter with the Catholic Church as well. So hopefully, because we know that Christ had to carry his cross, a very heavy burden for humanity, and as he was led to the end of his earthly life, and which of course means that we're coming up to a time where the burden is quite heavy for us personally as well, but there's the opportunity through something that we are leaving behind, some sort of a death process that we're going through, that we will be resurrected by. Our lives are going through a resurrection. So if you're feeling heavy, know that this is a big week relative to religion, and just bear with whatever's going on. Remember, we wait for the rising of Christ, the rebirth of our lives as well. So let's see what Gaia Oracle has got to communicate, and I've got something I want to tell you in a moment. Let's see, what does Spirit want us to know? What is the guided message today, Spirit? The dream. Something is revealed. Insight and breakthrough. Number 4, which, as I was saying, I do feel that because Pisces can be the dream, pay attention to your dreams. I've had so much back and forth relative to my dreams. Lots of weird and sometimes heavy dreams, very mixed up stories, not some things that are not clear. But, that's our subconscious, of course, that's speaking to us. So it's got a lot to do with our daily lives, obviously, as they do say the mind doesn't stop, even when we're asleep. But I've had very prophetic dreams, and a very intense prophetic dream that I will share with patrons, actually. Many of you may not be interested here, but patrons are the most loyal followers here, so I'm going to share it with them, as I will do that as I'm doing the analysis for the new moon. The new moon at the end, towards the end of the month of April. It will be a new moon in Taurus, of course, as we're heading towards the Taurus season. So let me know, have you had prophetic dreams? You can tell the difference between, a prophetic dream and just sort of seeing things that maybe you've been thinking about, and they're returning to you as you sleep. It's your subconscious. It's things that emotions that are coming up. Let's see. I want to take this card as well, as it really did want to be seen. I nearly pulled both cards out, so I'm going to take it. Liberation, breaking free from a negative attachment, number 25. So a breakthrough and a breaking free, my friends. I feel that these cards are right on point relative to the energies and what's going on in the astrology, and as above so below. And I will be saying that always, because if I didn't believe in what's going on up there, how it's affecting us down here, I would not be utilizing the astrology. I feel it's very, very important, and that's why here on Divine Debut 11 we do follow the stars and therefore understand what's to come, what we've been through, and what we're going through at this time. And we've had very hard energies, very hard life lessons. I would say even from September last year, as most of you have heard me saying that for a while. It's got a lot to do with Mars. It's got a lot to do with Mars. Mars's transit through Cancer, his retrograde through Cancer. Pluto returning to Aquarius once and for all for the next 20 years. And of course with the retrogrades of the personal planets Mercury, Venus, through Pisces and Aries. Pisces is the end. It's the dream. It's west. Pisces is illusion. It's misconception. It's deception. It could be self-deception or deception coming from others. Something is revealed, and that's Saturn in the sign of Pisces. He will bring the truth. He brings the revelations. But remember also that Neptune, which rules Pisces, is now at that 0 degree, first degree of Aries, which is the new beginning. And Pisces is the end. It's surrendering. It's releasing. It's also the hanging man, remember, as we need to turn our heads, maybe see things from a different perspective. Spirit is turning our head and saying, you've been looking at this. Maybe it's time to focus on something else. The reality, which is Saturn, which is what we can build upon as well, and what we need to also release, because Saturn is the scythe, can speak to an ending, insight, breakthrough, and that's Uranus, of course, through Taurus. And Taurus is an earth sign, in very good aspect to Pisces, which we've still got a lot of Pisces going on. As I've said many times, we may be in the Aries season, and happy birthday if you're celebrating your birthday. Actually, my daughter had her birthday on yesterday, on the 14th, and I'd like to wish my Aries friends a happy birthday if you're celebrating round about now. And so Aries is the new start, the Fool. Remember, there's a new journey ahead, but we're still dealing with the breakthroughs and the insights that Pisces, and through Pisces is connection to spirit and the divine. Of course, it's the connection to God, and that will bring us the liberation, breaking free from a negative attachment. I'm going to say even mistrust, distrust in spirit, and that spirit has our back. And that, yes, there is a new journey for all of us ahead, as long as we're doing the work. Remember, Pisces, Virgo is where the eclipses are happening, the fated life changes. And Virgo, which is opposite to Pisces, which is very activated, of course. It's the mutable signs, or the mutable part of our charts, including Sagittarius and Gemini. That's where the purification, the cleaning out our lives is concerned, and that's what we're working on. There's a lot of water. Trust your intuition. We've got a grand water trine, so it's flowing energy. It is help from spirit. So trust in that. Do your meditation. Take some time out on your own. Receive the insights that spirit is sending us right now. Let's see what the cards say. But before we do that, I'd like to, and if you could all send your wishes for good luck, Margarita, one of our subscribers and friends here. She hasn't had it easy with her health, and she's going in for surgery, I think on the 21st, but let's send her our best wishes, as she really needs it right now, our support and our love. Please do that for Margarita. She's one of us here, beloved lady. So, and I'd like to send a special hello, my best wishes also to Kelly. Kelly, my darling, I haven't gotten back to you. I will be writing to you later today. So happy to hear from you. I get the goosebumps. I have missed some of you that are not here all the time. Now, I don't expect you to be here every single time, but it's nice to say hello here or there. I have made lots of friends here on Divine Debut 11. Lots of friends. Let's see what's going on. And to those of you that are here every Tuesday and every Wednesday, a special hello. And you know who you are because you're here all the time. Let's see what the cards say and what spirit is saying more so than what the cards. Oh, wow. Three of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Four of Wands. Now, I'd just like to remind you that on this full moon, it wasn't easy at all. We're still in those energies. It's very, very much about bringing up a wound. It's like a wound being activated. We've had difficult reactions. The sun was on Chiron in Aries. So Chiron is the resolution, but it's also the open wound, right? That needs healing. That needs to be verbalized. Mercury is now direct, even though he's still transiting through Pisces for a day, let's say, still, as he is at the last degree of Pisces, thankfully, because he's been drowning with the inability to communicate. It's very hard to be able to talk when you're so filled with emotions. And I'm seeing it in people that there's a lot of holding back relative to, our emotions and our hurt, our wounds. We need to verbalize, because the more we keep them, we keep bottled up, that hurt, that pain, that wounding. You did this, you didn't do this, you hurt me, these words you said to me or you didn't say to me, or what you didn't do for me. We need to verbalize those emotions. It's like an unloading. Think of the 10 of Wands, right? That's a heavy burden that we carry. The 9 of Wands. We need to let the other person in, otherwise they may not know, because there's a lot of confusion and illusion. And instead of bottling up all that pain, it's time to release it, at least in, bit by bit, because once Mercury enters Aries, there's going to be no holding back. And Mercury in Aries will blurt things out and can hurt. It can hurt, okay, because there is a new beginning, and we need to close up what we're rounding off, what we're finishing. And communication is key, I'm going to say. Two of Pentacles, Five of Swords, there it is, because we've got Mars preparing. He's at the 29th degree of Cancer. He's preparing to enter Leo, and he's already in opposition to Pluto. So that's the third time that they are connecting, that they're in opposition. So I do feel that, what this full moon was about, I don't feel as though we've seen the last of it, even though it was the culmination, the completion. But because we've got, in the next few days, we've got that opposition of Mars and Pluto, which are both ruling planets of Scorpio. And Scorpio is where Juno is. Juno is the asteroid of commitment, marriage, contracts. And why am I mentioning Juno? Because Juno will be retrograding in the sign of Scorpio. Where is Scorpio in your chart? Which house does it rule? Because Juno can speak to a marriage. We've got the Four of Wands, which is a marriage, and we see the Five of Swords on that, which means there is the involvement of third parties. There are choices, because we've got the Three of Swords here as well. Third parties don't have to be secret love affairs. They could be family, right? Something to do with a new beginning, something to do with a new home, something to do with even where business and partnership, we see a disappointment here. There are decisions that need to be made. And remember, Jupiter transiting through Gemini. Gemini is the choices, right? It's the communication. It's our perception of the words received or not shared. Gemini is also, remember, it does have to do with commerce and business. So we see challenges here, dilemmas, because there was a focus on this full moon on that open wound. What is the outcome? The High Priestess. Pisces, Virgo. Remember, this is connection to spirit. She holds the wisdom. And Jupiter from Gemini does bring us the wisdom, does bring us the information. Sometimes we may have been too focused on the little details. Maybe we need to get an elevated point of view. I'm going to say because there was a full moon in Libra. Libra is all about justice, fairness, equality, but also legalities. And sometimes we may not be able to see the other person's point of view. And we may be seeing things from tunnel vision and seeing things only from from our point of view, which is the Aries, I am, whereas Libra is the us, we are. So we had that full moon in Libra, and full moons are culminations. They bring us the light. We see that here. These two cards can speak to two different situations. That something is revealed and those rose-colored glasses are coming off because of the insight and the breakthrough. That could come from your higher self, from synchronicities and signs. I've been having so many signs and synchronicities and seeing feathers, and as I said, I'll be talking about on Patreon. It's been through my waking, but connected to my dreams as well. That's really important. That they are insights coming from spirit, no doubt. So there will be insights relative to a dream, or the insights could be coming from your dreams. And if this was an illusion, you're living in an illusion wearing those rose-colored glasses, there's a liberation, which means you're seeing the truth. Because birds do fly up high, they have that elevated viewpoint. Birds are also messengers, so communication will start. Venus is now direct. She's coming on to Saturn, and Saturn was the limitations, the restrictions, even where financial situations are concerned. Has money been owed to you, promised and not delivered? Maybe that could be something as well. Something promised, Venusian, that has not been delivered. Maybe now there's the practical reality side of things, which Saturn does bring us. But remember also that Saturn and Venus are, they're going to connect with the North Node, which is a Jupiterian energy. And Jupiter is the expansion, the growth, the luck. Where there's been bad luck, there's been limitations and delays relative to Saturn, with themes to do with the past. And remember, Mars, which is our action, our ability to move forward, our energy, our desires, has been swamped in the sign of Cancer ever since early September last year. But he's at the 29th degree, as is Mercury. Mercury, Mars, they're in good aspect. So it's flowing energy relative to the communication, and it's connected to the past. It's connected to our emotional, financial security. It's connected to endings and new beginnings. Tomorrow, we've got new beginnings. Tomorrow. And the day after, and the day after that. But they will come through challenges. Trust your intuition, of course. Remember, the High Priestess is many times someone that's very connected, very intuitive, but also she could be someone who is guiding you. If it's not your higher self, it's an astrologer, tarot reader. Could be someone close to the church, someone who's just a seer, right? The High Priestess, remember, she sits between that portal, that 11 portal, and here we've got 1111. It's like, to me, it's like we're revisiting the past. It's still got to do with the past, because remember also that Pisces can speak to hidden enemies. Pisces are things that are going on behind our back that we may not understand, may not be aware of. And there's a lot of secrecy with the High Priestess. She holds, the book closed. She holds those scrolls. The wisdom is within her, so it's within us. We need to trust our intuition. Remember, she's a major arcana, so very important energy. Let's take two more cards. So we've got a Queen of Swords, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. Wow. And there's the Scorpio energy, another major. This can speak to the ending of something. It could be a job, it could be a business, it could be a commitment, it could be a contract, it could be a marriage. Because there's been a lot of secrecy, because there has been the involvement of third parties. Scorpio, remember, is a death and a metamorphosis. A death of what? The ending of challenges, the ending of troubles. As remember, Queen of Swords is generally it's Libra. So what we've seen, what we hear, what will be communicated will bring major change. Major change. So we've got a fair bit of air in the reading here. We don't have any cups here, but we've got the High Priestess, which is very much the water realm, and Scorpio. A lot of water. There is a lot of water, energetically speaking, in the sky. So pay attention to the insides. Remember, Scorpio is also lots of things that were secret, things that are going to be revealed. Remember, Juno, the asteroid of commitment and marriage, she will be retrograding through the sign of Scorpio for the next few months. But she's in a very positive aspect to Neptune, Mercury, Neptune in Aries at those 0 degrees. Mercury that's connecting with Neptune now. They've connected again. So they're reconnecting now, and things that were hidden are going to be revealed through communication, through our perception, through our dreams. And they are connecting also to Mars in Cancer. And Mars is going to enter Leo. Pluto is already at the 1st degrees of Aquarius. So if you're a fixed sign, if you've got planets, your midheaven, your ascendant, at those 1st degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio, it will be very important for you this last, because remember, this opposition of Mars and Pluto collectively as well can speak to warlike energies. It's a nuclear opposition. How can I explain it? It's, Pluto is nuclear bombs. So the action and the reaction could be massive. So do take a deep breath. Listen to your higher self. Don't take part in any troubles such as these. Use your wisdom. Libra is, remember, trying to see the other point of view. Libra is also think positively. Remember, Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is in a very good position. But she's coming up to Saturn, which are the limitations and the restrictions. But the fact that she's coming up to Saturn, that could also be the reality coming through, and the manifestation, the materialistic, the practical manifestation of a dream. But it comes after an ending. Remember what I was talking about, a death process we're going through. We're carrying that heavy burden right now because after a death there's a metamorphosis. We've got a King of Pentacles here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, 10 of Swords. So he's gone through some betrayal. He's gone through a lot of wounding, a lot of pain. An ending to a chapter, but also the beginning, because remember, 10 of Swords is the darkest before the dawn. He could be a boss, he could be a father, he could be a partner. He could be the person you're hoping to manifest. We've got Taurus and Scorpio here, so we're talking about the fixed signs. We've also got mutable energy, as well as cardinal and fixed. We've got all the energies here. Knight of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Knight of Cups. Remember, doubts relative to something creative, a romantic offer. It seems like love had to go through some sort of an ending because there was too much darkness. There was the inability to see what was going on in reality with all this darkness here. Remember, the Ace of Swords is a victory card. It can also be a double-edged sword, which could be cutting. And the Knight of Swords. We've got a Knight of Swords, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, and the Knight of Cups. But this is themes relative to the past. Possible also legalities here because of the Knight of Swords here, which is facing the past. Now, Knight of Swords would be clarity, communication. Knight of Cups is more the emotions, but they're back to back. It's like not speaking openly and truthfully relative to one's emotions. Knight of Swords, Nine of Swords, Knight of Swords. That's the 10 of Swords, which we've got here that the King of Pentacles sits on. King of Pentacles, very similar to the Emperor. Possibly that's why an offer of love or a creative offer is uncertain, because there were doubts here. Because something needed to end, something that was unsustainable. 10 of Swords is the ending before the beginning. Remember, we've got the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords, so love and creative offers have been going through a lot of darkness, a lot of sleepless nights here relative to an offer. Too many emotions, someone drowning in their emotions. I'm surprised the Hermit did not come out. Feels like someone felt very lonely, very left out in the cold. We've got a Queen of Swords here. We see the feminine, and we've got a interesting Queen of Swords and a High Priestess. So this could be a love triangle, a third party situation. And we do see on the marriage card, we've got the Five of Swords, and the Queen of Swords, which is usually someone who's in separation or divorced. Maybe there's been some clarity that there is a third party. The High Priestess is always in the shadows. Maybe there's been some clarity which is bringing an ending to a marriage, because there's been secrecy. There's been hush-hush energies, and we see the heartbreak from the past position relative to a new beginning, a possibility here. Or, again, the Ace of Pentacles usually shows, remember, the path that leads on to a new life. It could speak to marriage, yes, or even a business, or a new home. Someone wanting or, building a new life in a new home. Being in between two homes because of the Two of Pentacles here. But still dealing with past situations. But that's coming to an end. We could be talking for half an hour on what these cards mean. Let's look at the emotions. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. It helps the channel greatly. And I almost forgot to tell you, we've already gifted 4 free Lenormand readings a few days ago. We'll be doing more of that. So if you're commenting beneath our uploads here, you could be lucky. You could be chosen for a free 4 card Lenormand reading that I send to you through email. So I must have your email. Obviously, if I don't have your email, I won't be able to find you. So if you're chosen and I don't have your email, it means you have not connected with us apart from YouTube. So the email would be either through a donation, through a purchase for a personal reading, through connection, email back and forth, or that you're a Patreon. So also the love readings for April that are up on Patreon, they are up for sale as well. So someone did purchase the other day. Some people don't want that reoccurring Patreon payment every month, but you've got the ability, if you want the love reading early on in the month, as patrons get the individual love readings, then you can purchase a one-off. And we've also got astrological analysis of the Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, Mars retrograde 2025. We've done so much. And the month ahead astrology. So you can purchase those as a one-off and support our channel. Thank you so much in advance. Let's see what's going on emotionally as we're reading the energies. Remember, today is the 15th of April, but you may be watching this message on another date, then it could be important for you. Purge. So some sort of a death is happening, some sort of change. Purging means the Scorpio energy, taking off those layers. Purging the victimhood, purging a life cycle. We've got Scorpio and Pisces, so much water. And stuck, which means Saturn. Also letting go of victimhood and feeling that you've lost your power. Your self-worth. Remember that victimhood energy has kept someone stuck here, and someone's been going through change, through lots of changes and endings, But remember that we don't read reversals here. So for me, because this is Saturn, this is like a release. As Venus now, Mercury has already connected with Saturn. Now, this is like the release of these stuck energies. There's liberation here. And because there are revelations, remember we've got Pisces, which is the dream, the illusion, the deception, and Saturn, which is the truth, which is time limiting, karma. This could also mean a release of a karmic life cycle that's kept you stuck. And you've finished with the shadow work. Someone's finishing off with the shadow work. There's a compromise, there's a coming together, there's a communication. They're on the same level, I see here. Libra energy comes through. And there's reinvention. Reinvention, which does speak to the retrogrades. What's interesting is that with Venus now having turned direct, all planets are direct until May 4th, when Pluto in Aquarius will turn retrograde. So it's a chance now to reinvent. It's a chance now, as the planets are starting to move forward, Venus, Mercury, and Mars, to go through that fire, to not fear and release what needs to go. What's been keeping you locked up, feeling unliberated. There's the Hermit, which I said I'm surprised the Hermit has not come through, because this is guidance. This is the Hermit for me in this deck, in the Mystic Moon Oracles. Someone's seen the light, that inner light, the guidance from someone. It could be a doctor, because this can also speak to back pain, someone not feeling well, right? This could also be someone having lost, literally lost someone from the family. I want to take, so maybe, love has been put on the back burner because of some sort of ending, a difficult ending or a loss. There's, see, no. It's like the energies were blocked relative to this connection, this communication, or someone seeing the light. Someone was going through a dark night of the soul, needed to go through healing. Could have been physical, could have been emotional. I want to take some Lenormand. Before that, I just want to see what the general energy is here. What is this Ten of Swords on this King of Pentacles? Let's take some extra cards. We've got the Lovers. So the Lovers means a choice, obviously, with the Two of Pentacles here. Gemini, we could be talking about someone who has got Venus in Gemini, their Mars in Gemini. So it could speak to someone that's hedging their bets or trying to choose between a past, could have been a past marriage partner, and a twin flame, because this is my twin flame card. This is a divine union. Let's take one more. Remember, Jupiter is in Gemini. Jupiter needs to give us the bigger picture. Jupiter is direct now. And Jupiter is in good aspect to this full moon in Libra. Thankfully, we did have some help. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. So this could speak to the end of a marriage partnership because of a twin flame. Let's see what this Queen of Swords is about. There's the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Lots of secrecy, lots of deception and things going on that were hidden. There it is. So we've got a King of Pentacles, someone who's coming out of a marriage, possibly connected to someone who's coming through as a Queen of Swords. Let's not get stuck only on the signs, right? Because she could be a Scorpio, she could be a Cancer, right? She could be a Libra because of these cards that are sitting on her. But there's a death process you see here. Things are going to be revealed. This could be the beginning of the end. Because as I said, Juno is retrograding in Scorpio, so Scorpio is playing a major role. in today's reading, and Juno, which is the asteroid of commitment, marriage, and contracts. Let's get some more light, which I've forgotten to do. And God said, let there be some light. What is this? See, after a death process, there's a new cycle. What is this Five of Swords? Yep, it's no more. It's clearing the air. 6 swords help us transition towards serenity. What is this Ace of Pentacles? The beginning to an end. This could be someone, Queen of Pentacles, we know Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. We've got a Queen of Pentacles and a King of Pentacles, and a third party. Children can be involved, but also the offer that was made was only a page of cups, and we see the Knight of Cups. There's transition, but it's very slow relative to this offer, possibly, of this King of Pentacles. Because logically they're meant to be together, but we see a Queen of Swords here, that there are issues and there's a death process happening for this King of Pentacles. I hope that this reading speaks to you. See lots of warriors, 10 of Swords on the marriage card. New cycle. Aries, could be a trip, could be a new cycle emotionally that's starting, that we may not be aware of yet, because Scorpio is secrecy. There's the Queen of Swords again, and there's the Page of Wands, which is enthusiasm, excitement, but the new journey. This is like, we've got Libra, Aries here, under difficult circumstances, but there's a new beginning. Maybe because we've got Aries and Libra here. So on this full moon, this could be happening around the full moon. What's this reinvention? What is this? It's a soulmate, 6 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups. Now, once upon a time, there was the inability to have this option here. 10 Cups. Someone had to finish off and have a breakthrough from a negative attachment, liberation from a negative attachment. This could be a return of an opportunity where love is concerned. With a soulmate, could be a twin flame. And there's an alchemy going on with Archangel Michael here. Now my left eye is playing up. We're going to see something. Something will be revealed that we will be seeing. My left eye is pulsing. It's incredible. And we've got the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Unbelievable, my friends. Remember, Pluto is in Aquarius. There will be a lot of revelations because Pluto is secrecy. Mars, with his desire to move direct, move forward. He's racing to enter Leo. Leo is the heart. Mars will be chasing matters pertaining to heart. There will be flirtation. Nothing's going to stop Mars in Leo. Someone needs to take on the risk for their desires. Take the action. And also, there'll be a lot of reactions. Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Finances and career are a factor in your love life right now. And trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So there's been fear relative to matters of heart. What? That the emotions, that the love is not reciprocated. Where love is concerned, love is the highest energy of all. So we need to, and the highest energy of all, of course, is Pisces. We need to be open with our emotions. We need to release control Remember, this is unconditional love, the energy of Pisces. If you've given unconditional love and it has not been returned or is not going to be returned, it's time to release. Okay, and where there has been a feeling of victimhood, that the love was not reciprocated, that my sacrifices were not returned, even, to the half point, then it's time to release. It's time to let go. It's time to reinvent your life. But we do see a return here, and there's an alchemy. It's all happening in divine timing. Possibly someone needs to go through their healing. They're still probably trying to reconcile, to find that middle ground, which is Libra. Remember that even if this is a past partner, there's no return to the past. There's no return with a past illusion, how can I say it, betraying the trust between you and another. Someone is going to decide, no, I'm not going to return, because possibly the trust has been broken. So some of you are reinventing your life. You're getting liberated. You're letting go of the illusion and the deception. For others of you, this is the reality, where even the vision, something that you've dreamt of, that you can possibly create at this time. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life, and you deserve love. I think that's all we need to know, really. Let's take just 3 Lenormand, and I think we'll leave it there. It's quite a long reading. Should we read from the Gaia Oracle? We've got 2 messages today. We've got the Lily, the Road, and the Book. A story closes here. But there is, remember, the Road means choices as well. This is relative to purification of a relationship. This is, remember, it does speak to a divine union for me. This is a blessed union from Mother Mary. It's also a very sexual, sexually connected relationship, but also a spiritual connection where there's been a lot of secrecy. The book can say that this story closes because someone's made their choice, or there's been a process of purification relative to the deception, the lack of truth. The mountain, the dog, and the birds. There will be excitement. There will be also possibly stress, because the choice that is made, now someone's going to choose from relative to a spiritual connection where their desires are on full scale desire, right? A very strong sexual connection, but also ethics play a major role here relative to the Lily. And if you've been ethical, you've done the right thing, Saturn will give you the excitement, will take you to where, towards your loyalties, because the dog speaks to friendship, and you've been loyal to a particular person, to a particular dream. And that's where, yes, there can be stress for others. There can be gossip because there are third parties, but there can also be excitement because a heavy chapter comes to an end. Okay, and Spirit is saying if you've done the right thing, you've been, because dogs also speak to trust. There's been trust, or you've trusted and you've needed to believe that you can manifest this dream of yours. You fought for this. You were loyal. Okay? Even though you're bogged down by a lot of heaviness, a lot of limitation, restrictions, they do say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's what this card is like. You've become stronger. The mountain speaks to strength as well. The strength to close up a chapter where there hasn't been ethics with. You haven't been dealing with someone that was true. For some, there are delays, right? There's what you may be finding out is that there have been a lot of delays because of the red tape, because of limitations, restrictions, needing to do things by the book, being bound, restricted by the laws of timing, or the laws of contracts, what you've signed. That's what the tower speaks to in the Lenormand, my dear friends. So the answers will be different for each of us, of course. The messages will be different for each of us. Let's read number 4. You will soon break free from a situation that has been causing you concern. Something will be revealed either in a dream or through someone you know and trust. The information you receive will give you an insight into something that has remained hidden from you for some time. This will be a big relief for you as you realize that your concerns and fears were unnecessary and unfounded. All is well that ends well. However, do not forget this episode, for it is a recurring theme with you. The next time you are unsure of something, try to refrain from jumping to conclusions which are not based on fact. Also, pay attention to your dreams. Try to remember them as you wake up. With time, you will intuitively learn their symbolic language. This message had been floating around in your dream state for some time. Next message, number 25. Whether you realize it or not, you have become too emotionally attached or dependent on someone or something, or you have allowed or inadvertently caused someone to get too emotionally attached to you. What at first seemed like a healthy friendship or interest now seems to be taking over your life or is creating too much codependence. A situation that initially seemed like a positive has now revealed its negative side. This is in effect like a form of addiction. You are advised to examine this issue and then create some space between you. For your sake and the sake of others, you must do whatever it takes to break free from this negative emotional attachment. Initially, this may cause some resentment and even a sense of panic, but the end result will be worth it. When you manage to emotionally detach yourself from this issue, you will have learned a valuable lesson, and this will serve you well in the future. And I must say, my little kitty Gaia, she is very attached to me, and I think she needs to be a little bit more liberated. So I need to that message was very on point for me and my little kitty. She is my shadow. She follows me everywhere. So I think she needs to mature. That's the Saturnian energy, Saturn and Venus. That is a little bit of a detach relative to what we feel addicted to, who we felt addicted to, because Pisces is also addictions, as is Saturn, which would be the devil energy in the tarot. So maybe this is the work that we're doing now. I wish you well. I wish you strength. And we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting, my friends. Many, many messages. Thank you for your love and your support. A special thanks to our patrons. And don't forget to comment, to send your healing wishes and vibrations to Margarita for good luck with her surgery. And that goes the same for anyone who is going through any health crisis or issues now. Sending you our best wishes, healing energy, and that your life go through a resurrection as we carry that heavy burden all the way up until the day of the resurrection of Christ and our own lives, and the resurrection of humanity and the world at large, as we see that happening collectively, not only personally. Thank you for your love and your support and your loyalty always. We'll be back tomorrow, so join us in the chat tomorrow on the love reading that we do every Wednesday. That will be the last one until I'm going to may take a few days off. I don't know if I will be here. I may be going on a very short holiday, a few days, going away with some family and friends. So I'm not promising that I'll be back next Wednesday. So join us tomorrow for sure for the love reading. So next Tuesday and Wednesday, I might not be able to upload for you, to read for you. We'll see. Love and light until tomorrow. Do join us tomorrow and connect with us in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone.